Hey, what's up out there, YouTube heads? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to talk about vibe coding and we're going to talk about auths. And we're going to talk about how I spent 9 months vibe coding this one feature, this one auth feature that I just had to have. Okay. For those of you who don't know, my name is Wilfred, and I do a lot of projects with AI, vibe coding. When I started, it really wasn't even called vibe coding yet. I don't know what it was called, but we were just using AI to help us with our code. I was mainly using AI to help me with my JavaScript code. And after 2 years of being able to figure that out and narrow that down, I was pretty content with the results that I was getting. Now, vibe coding for me is just an compliment. Okay. Actually, it's a funny story how I fell into vibe coding. It's a very funny story. So let me tell you that story a little bit, and then we're going to go into why we're here. Um, I'm a UX designer, and then I traded up to front end design. Okay. And while I was trading up to front end design, I wanted to build SaaSes and apps. And I also wanted to be able to have subscribers, members, all these different things. There was one platform that I could use called, I think it was called Member Mouse, but I just couldn't afford it. It was too expensive. So that's why I started to learn JavaScript. But in learning JavaScript, I realized that you can't have your Stripe keys in the front end. So what I had to do was make two different sites. One that was for the Stripe, and then when people paid, I would just manually add them to the auth of the second site. And that worked really well when I used Firebase to do that. Um, but I wanted to always automate something, you know? So I had to step out of my comfort zone. And I stepped out of my comfort zone long enough to say, I got to do something back endish. And while researching what would be the easiest forms of back end to use, I came across Replit. And Replit at the time, I don't know if they were called Replit yet, but at the time, whatever they were called before, they were supposed to be the easiest back end to set up, especially with Stripe. And I was like, bet. But they pivoted and now they were doing vibe coding. And that's pretty much how I fell into vibe coding. And since then, I just been building like crazy. If you guys want to go check out my Twitter, you can also go check out my Twitter. I'm going to share my Twitter with you. So I started to vibe code regularly. And I thought to myself, what are projects that I could do? What are problems that I can solve? What are things that people would want to pay for? Now, I always was in awe of people who would be on um, LinkedIn, and they would be on LinkedIn posting and get all this attention. And I always wondered, here's my ex, I always wondered how they did this. So I said, I want to sound like them. I want to sound like them. I want people to convert to my post. And I got to thinking, why not just make something? So I did. And here it is. It's called the Copy Agency. Okay? And it lets you write posts just like people actually read. And it uses AI. Now, the first version, let me show you the first version. The first version we did was about the main, Basically, the main thing it came down to was the auth. Okay, the main thing it came down to was the authorization. And I got to be honest with you, I was like, you know what? It's a LinkedIn. It's a LinkedIn app. It should let you log in with LinkedIn, not Firebase. Unfortunately, Firebase only allows you to link to log in using Google. Give me 1 second here. Let me try to pull it up for you, what we had first. And I picked Firebase because Firebase was pretty simple. It's really smooth, elegant to learn. I recommend anybody who wants to start with this that they learn Firebase. Firebase doesn't get any easier than Firebase. Okay, but for my needs and how I wanted everything to look, it just wasn't enough for me. And so this was the first auth page that we have for copy agency. Now this is a LinkedIn app. I even made the colors and everything. But as you can see, it says continue with Google. That's how you would register and log in. That just wasn't good enough for me. I thought, you know, how could you put a LinkedIn app out there that you can't log in with LinkedIn? And so then I learned that LinkedIn did provide a manner for you to have social authorizations. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. The problem I was dealing with was I was just too inexperienced at the time to get it to work because guess what? Firebase doesn't have integration for this. So you had to build it by scratch. And I couldn't get it to work. I tried Gemini when it was called Bard. I tried Chat GPT. I even tried Replit, and we couldn't get it to work. Now, I worked on this for 9 months, okay? 9 months. I'm going to show you what happened after 9 months. And this is where I think people misunderstand about vibe coding, vibe coding. They misunderstand a lot of things. Vibe coding is not quick. It's not quick at all. It takes weeks and months, even if you go hard every day, weeks and months to develop an app. It's not going to happen in a couple of hours, at least not yet. But right now, it takes weeks and months. The interesting thing, though, people don't talk about is the expense. It is very, very expensive to make apps. Very, very expensive. Okay. I don't know what the other guys charge, but for me, Replit is very expensive. Okay. Because you keep doing iterations, it's true what they say. If you don't understand what's broken, you can't fix it. And you may be tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars in, and it's so buggy, you just have to start all over again. Okay. So the 9 months that I spent doing what I'm about to show you right now, it wasn't a waste of time. I learned a lot. And I think that that's where vibe coding really helps you. I learned a lot on my own in 9 months that probably would have took me 3 years to learn. So let me show you what I learned, okay? What we were able to do. We put together the copy agency, and as you can see, it's a good site. Shout out to Stitch. Stitch came in handy too. Now that I know about Stitch, the sky's the limit. But this is the most important part here. And I'm going to show you in a minute of what I learned to put together. And it took me 9 months to do this off. I mean, every day, all day, I was going at it. I spent hundreds of dollars on Replit trying to get this to work. And finally, someone just indirectly, they shared with me I should go back to Superbase. Now, I tried Superbase before. I didn't like it. It was way too technical for me. And then I discovered Firebase. And then I got hooked on Firebase and I didn't want to change. Okay? I just didn't want to change. But this part right here, this is what took me 9 months. So in 9 months of vibe coding, let me show you where we went from. And when we finished the app, the copy agency, this, okay, we had this, but this wasn't good enough for me, so I went back to the drawing board. And then after 9 months, after 9 long months, I finally decided to give Superbase another try. And vibe coding with Superbase was ready. It was so easy. I decided to give it a try and ended up with this. And ended up with this right here. Continue with LinkedIn. And it works. We got it to work. It took 9 months, but we got it to work. Okay. Voila. And that's what I wanted to show you guys. That was a long pause. Pardon me. I was getting kind of bored myself, but here we are. We are in the app using LinkedIn auth. Okay. Voila. This is what I taught myself over 9 months. How to do LinkedIn authorization. If anyone would like me to help you, okay. If anyone would like me to help you with the LinkedIn auth or vibe coding, just reach me on X or my LinkedIn page. Okay. And I'll be glad to help you out. Lastly, the last thing that I did recently, also I want you to check this out too, because the copy agency is my app. That's what we pushing right now. Pushing the copy agency. But also check out my website as well. Here is my website. All right. That's my website as well. So feel free to check that out. See how the copy agency is doing. Give me feedback. Okay. But yeah, that's what I spent 9 months doing. Man, and I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. And I got this thing to work. So that was a plus. So as you can see, that's the proof right there. All right. All right, that's all I wanted to talk about for now. Just wanted to show you that I was spending 9 months on that. That's where I've been. I didn't have time to make any videos. So let me recap real quick. Vibe coding is great. It's a great experience. There should be some prerequisites to it. But anyway, it's definitely not going to be instant oatmeal. It's going to take several weeks, several months. For me, I finished the product, but I wanted the auth to be perfect. So I legit spent another 9 months just working on the auth. And I got it perfect. I got it right. As you can see. All right. All right, guys. That's all I got to say. This is Wilfred Startups. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, comment, tell me what you think about this authorization using LinkedIn or anything else. I got a vibe coding conference coming up that you can also tap in on. All right, we got a lot of things you can also tap in on. You put that in there too. Vibe Coding Conference. All right. And like I said again, let me know if you need any help. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.